So I'm going to get specific on like merchandise planning, right? That's one area where, the planners, merchandise planners are spending a lot of time, a lot of painful time working in Excel, in spreadsheets if they don't have any system. Like, what are they missing out by not having, a connected technology and integrated technology that kind of ties all these different channels together?
Right. So merchandise planning is kind of one of the core processes with grocers. Some call it category planning, but essentially it comes down to normally it's kind of divided into two sections. There's pre-season and in-season. But merchandise planning is essentially a dollar-based planning process where we're really looking at kind of the big picture. We're really trying to figure out which categories are going to be hot, which ones are going to struggle a bit. How do we kind of move our working capital, which is their inventory, from one category to another? Where's the growth going to be? And they're looking at the different categories. So this is kind of the fundamental process. It is very much impacted by the 4 trends that I did mention to you. But from a technology standpoint, I would say honestly, merchandise planning can be done. It can be done in a spreadsheet. I mean, I'll just be blunt. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be hard. Each category or each category manager or department, however you want to look at it, they're going to have their own separate spreadsheets. Someone's going to have to consolidate it all. But it can be done. It's not that complicated of a process. However, that's as far as you'll get. And there's what I like to call a analytic maturity curve that grocers are on. Some grocers are still at what I would call like a descriptive level of analytics. So you can start with your foundation, which is just master data. I got my product hierarchies nice and cleaned up. Then you go in like descriptive. Descriptive is just tell me the news, right? Then once you move from descriptive, you can move on to predictive analytics. Now you're really starting to do forecasting. You really want to start looking for trends. And then from predictive, now you're starting to get into prescriptive analytics, where you're letting like artificial intelligence or machine learning algorithms or sophisticated statistical modeling start to basically make the decisions for you, or at least just tell you what the decisions should be or give you some choices. And then finally, we get into more of the kind of the cognitive analytics. Most grocers, honestly, they're still all the way back in descriptive, right? They're dabbling and they're starting to get into some of the predictive analytics. But a lot of this is because groceries just been around for so long. People have to eat, right? They're going to shop. They're going to come into the grocery store one way or the other. They're going to be there. So it's not an urgent, I wouldn't call it an urgent need to immediately get into have a sophisticated, optimized up that analytic maturity curve with merchandise planning in particular. But at the same time, you really can't move forward with the edge applications that you need because you're stuck at descriptive. You're basically saying, look, I can tell you the news, but that's about as far as I can go. And you're going to have to pull this stuff into a spreadsheet. So if you wanted to figure out how to seamlessly integrate, online grocery shopping or pick up in a store or just how would I seamlessly integrate all that? You're not going to do that in a spreadsheet, right? So, but merchandise planning, if that's as far as you want to go, it's not that complicated. So it's probably not the answer people want to hear, but honestly, it's not too tricky. But you can't really move forward without having a more sophisticated solution in place so that you can meet those 4 trends that I discussed earlier to meet those.